What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines, and today we're going to share with you guys our biggest disappointments of the season so far. Let's get into it.
Now, my biggest disappointment is down in New Orleans. Zion Williamson has not and will not, in my opinion, return to the NBA season, and we may not see him at all for the rest of his NBA career.
Wow.
I'm telling you, this foot injury, it is going to be lingering. Right now, he had a setback out another 4 to 6 weeks. The New Orleans Pelicans, they're not looking good this season at all. And if they were banking on a Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart connection, it's not happening. Kira Lewis is out with an ACL. The Pelicans might as well go ahead and just scrap this season, whether they want to or not, because it is over. And I'm disappointed.
Put it in the trash.
Yep, ball it up.
And put it in the trash. No, it's really bad. I really hate to say this, but I have been looking forward to seeing Zion Williamson play a complete season since he got into the league. And it is unfortunate that his injuries have plagued and haltered his advancement in the league. He was supposed to be this big phenom, and it's not happening. So yeah, that is disappointing, and it's almost as though now, because he's unable to really play, the notoriety that Brandon Ingram should be receiving is now on the back burner. It's just, it just is, I don't know, I can tell you the New Orleans Pelicans was like, oh my, what just happened?
But see, here's the thing, though. I don't believe the Pelicans were being honest about his injury from the beginning. Somebody was lying. I don't know if it was Zion to the organization or the organization to the rest of us. That foot injury was serious. And they made it seem like, it was serious. They made it seem like, oh, he'll be back at the beginning of the season. But now he's out another 4 to 6 weeks, and that's going to linger on. I think he's done. I think he's done.
Oh my gosh. Well, get well soon, Zion. I hope you invested a lot of your money that you got from the NBA so far and your endorsements to carry you and your family on to your next destination. I don't know what to say. I don't know how else to have a nice parting words, but hopefully he'll come back. But again, if he does come back, it will be something that he'll be plagued with for the rest of his career. And it's going to disrupt his momentum and also his stock value in the NBA long term. So, wow. Ouch.
Yeah.
One of my biggest disappointments is the New York Knicks. I really expected them to run it back again during the regular season. They didn't make that many off-season adjustments. They did acquire Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, only to then sit Kemba Walker. The first part of the season, he played 18 games. They set him for 10. What did you think he was going to do? You thought he was going to be your defensive genius? No, that's not his game. And so now he had to come back and have an I told you so game. So perhaps he'll be back in the rotation again, which will help whatever is going on with the New York Knicks. They were fourth in the league fourth in the Eastern Conference last season. They're 12th now. What's going on? And then I'm looking at them play and I say, something is missing. They need to make a trade. And I don't know who they need to bring in. But right now, you expect Julius Randle to just do it by himself. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I'm not even saying postseason. I'm saying, can you please run it back regular season?
Yeah.
New York Knicks. I know in the postseason, that was disappearance. But at least regular season, I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, the New York Knicks are a big disappointment for me this season. So far.
And Julius Randle played a big role last season. And I'm telling you, teams were like, okay, how do we stop him? All right, okay, cool. And then they did that this season. And that's why we're seeing, sometimes he has good games and sometimes it's like, where in the world is he? So yeah, the New York Knicks are definitely a disappointment, but I still believe if Tom Thibodeau will continue to play Kemba Walker, get him back in rotation, I think that they could at least make the play-in tournament. So, but we'll see. But yeah, I am disappointed so far. And Knicks fans all around the world, I'm sure, are too.
Oh, they're sick. They're sick. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So another disappointment I have are the Detroit Pistons. Oh my goodness. And in the previous episode, I had the Detroit Pistons. I think I had them in my 1 through 6.
You did.
like number 6 or so. If not that, then in the play-in tournament.
Yes.
But what I'm seeing right now from head coach Dwayne Casey and all the young studs, right? Killian Hayes, we got the number 1, draft pick, Cade Cunningham. He's doing okay. You got Diallo down there. Jeremy Grant is now out. There's no rush for him to get back. Looking at their season, Sadiq Bey, and then my favorite, Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah has not been right since he had that little flare up or blowout with LeBron James. I think a lot of that negative energy and a lot of the negative press kind of played on him. He's a young player, kind of new into the league. A lot of people don't even know who he is. But when he did that, everybody knew his name. And I think it impacted him. And it's unfortunate. And now the Detroit Pistons are not very good this season. So,
No.
yeah, I'm disappointed in them.
Yeah, that was, I know they were expecting Cunningham to really come in and, re-energize. And then you got Jeremy Grant, who,
Mm-hmm.
can get you a bucket, right? So, yeah, it's really sad to see that they're like number 15, I believe.
I mean, dead last. It's
Like,
horrible.
yeah, that's another team that should take this season and throw it in the trash. It is not it. So that now they're going to have another lottery pick. They're going to get another top, draft top draft pick. What good is it if you can't get the veterans to come and help support your team? You need a
Mm-hmm.
balance of both. So, yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You know
And
what?
I, and I, I don't think Jeremy Grant's going to stay for the rebuild. He's not going to stay through all this. Jeremy Grant is a stone cold stud. He deserves to be on a winning basketball team. And these young guys coming in 20 years old, 21, 22, Jeremy Grant's not going to stick around and wait for them to fully develop and for them to be a really good team. He shouldn't.
Well, one of the reasons why he even went to Detroit is because he wanted to have a primary role in the success of a team. That's why he went to Detroit. And now you think he's gonna sit back and wait? Why would he want to do that? He wants to be on a championship contending team, and the Detroit Pistons will not be that in the next 2 years. It's just not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
It's not going to happen, not unless they make some major changes to their roster and perhaps move away and perhaps move some of these draft picks that they have, because they're always at the bottom with the lottery, and acquire some other talent. But I agree with you on that one. I'm sorry. Throw it in the trash. Okay, so here's mine. You know what? The biggest anticipation that a lot of us, I know I have been waiting for, is to watch the big three in Brooklyn. When can I see on a consistent basis the big three in Brooklyn? Now I know there is extenuating circumstances which causes them all not to play at the same time. I mean, you got Harden with his hamstring last season and a little bit of this season. Kyrie not playing because of the restrictions that they have on the requirements that they have based on COVID, and then you have KD doing miracles and magic tricks on the court to make sure that they can still win. Like the initial draw to the Brooklyn Nets for last season was that they had the big three. The big three was going to be the biggest thing once James Harden came over midseason. We didn't see it unfold then. A few games. I mean, maybe even 10 games they played together. Now here we are at the start of the new season, and they still haven't all played together. Come on now. Brooklyn Nets, I want to see what does that team look like when all three of them are on the court together consistently, and what would that look like? I'm just disappointed I can't see it.
Yeah. Me too. And you're right. Everyone was anticipating it. I mean, right now they're top of the East, but I don't think they'll stay that way if the big three cannot come together, or at least the big two,
In some form, right? Big two, I
Mm-hmm.
don't care how you do it, but what does that look like? I mean, it all sounds good on paper, but I haven't been able to see it. And I want to see it. So that's why it's a disappointment for me, because I was saying, okay, this year is going to be the year. So maybe now that Kyrie is deciding to come, they're allowing him to come back and play road games, and then hopefully once James Harden get back, maybe we'll see the big three in road games. But that's just not enough. That's only half of what they do. They play the other half in their arena. And so road games, they can't play in Canada and they can't play in New York. Period. So he will not play any of the next game. I don't get it. I don't get it. I want to see it. So that's a disappointment for me again.
Mm-hmm. Right. Another disappointment I have is like there has been no timetable, no updated info, no nothing on Kawhi Leonard. What is going on? Is he going to play this season?
Kawhi Leonard, make sure you're fully healed before you come
Oh
back to the roster.
gosh.
I don't care. Y'all leave Kawhi Leonard alone.
Kawhi just signed that massive contract. Don't you feel bad for Steve Ballmer?
Yeah.
It's a disappointment.
Yeah, but Steve Ballmer already knew what he was going. He should have already known who Kawhi Leonard was. He showed y'all when he was with the Spurs. He didn't have time to show you when he was with Toronto because they handled him with kid gloves. And now here he is with the Clippers. And whenever he comes back, well, at least he's on the bench. He does show up to the games.
We need him on the court. And now PG want to sit out too with his elbow.
They do need
This
him on
is
the court.
just terrible.
They do
This
need
team,
him on the court.
yeah, this team went to the Western Conference Finals. They have not reached the mountaintop. Let's not get, comfortable and no, that's not good enough.
Yeah, that is
You need to get to the
disappointing.
West. You need to get to the finals. All the kind of
Yeah.
money Steve Ballmer dished out in the arena and all that. They got to keep winning basketball games. And if PG and Kawhi Leonard are not playing and there's no updated info, what is this?
Yeah, no, I agree. I can support that disappointment. Yeah, I really want to see Kawhi Leonard play. Really, the draw to the Clippers is that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, the two of them, they were supposed to do it in the bubble. See, this stems back from bubble, right? This stems back from the NBA bubble. They were supposed to do it in the NBA bubble, and they didn't. The last season, they were able to do it, but unfortunately, in the postseason, Kawhi Leonard was, he got injured. So now here we are, another season, and Paul George has been playing amazing. But again, how many more times must he shoot the ball? And you didn't think his elbow was going to start, hurt him. Either that or his shoulder. He already got shoulder issues anyway. So, like, what do you expect? People can't, these players, top players cannot do it by themselves. So, yeah. Man, Clippers,
I know.
Kawhi, when you coming back?
Oh my goodness.
You know what? Speaking of that, while we're in LA,
oh God,
what in all the world is going on with the Los Angeles Lakers? Like, I can't even begin. What's disappointing is that the Lakers got all this hype about the players that they acquired this season and the ones that they shipped away, and now they out there looking like old legs. I can't.
Yeah.
The Lakers got to get it together. Oh, it's really disheartening. It's disappointing to see the Lakers out there playing. And when I tell you, you can already see it. The lift, the lift in some of these players is not there, right? You can even see the setup for the lift. I mean, it matters. Age matters, experience matters, the time spent on the court matters. We're talking about these players that have the most experience, most tenure in the league, have been playing for a really, really long time. So this is no slight to their age. It's really more about the wear and tear on their body. And I can promise you today, Father Time will show up. And this is happening right now. So yeah, they need their younger players to really get it in, because the older guys.
I'm telling you, the Los Angeles Lakers, another team with a lot of hype, similar to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And I'm a Laker fan, certified Laker fan this season. And I'm telling you, they have been a disappointment. They'll win 2-3 games maybe, and barely. And sometimes against sub 500 teams, they should be blowing them out, struggling overtime, double overtime. Cannot throw the heavy hitter punch and knock out any team. They got to go wire to wire. And when you're older, a little longer in the tooth, it becomes difficult to do with these young guys running the ball down your throat. I'm just saying.
When I tell you, they need to really, if the last game that the Lakers played with the Timberwolves don't get you, they need to have a come to the ball game meeting. Like, it was ran them amok. It was just like, oh, why don't y'all just go sit down somewhere? Like, it was horrible. It was horrible.
It was bad. It was bad. And
These young players are running circles. And if any team want to right now beat the Lakers, all they got to do is just quickly run quick in transition, because the Lakers players are not getting back. They got to get themselves together, And now AD is out. Oh, beat it. Oh,
yeah, with AD out though, and the way that he plays, he's not a running gunner. He's 6'10", 6'11". He's kind of clunky. Now, with Russ handling the point, maybe when THT and Monk and even LeBron, maybe they could fill the lanes now, maybe pick up the pace because AD is a setup type guy. You know, he gonna bounce the ball, he gonna look around, then he gonna maybe pass, but most likely shoot. That's a slow, boring offense. Without him in the lineup, maybe they'll pick up the pace and be more competitive.
So yeah, the Lakers are a disappointment for me right now.
Yeah, you and the rest of Los Angeles. Now, this one is kind of like iffy for me.
Okay.
But are you disappointed in Chauncey Billups in Portland?
Not really.
Mm.
Not really. I haven't really been excited about Portland for a couple of seasons. I just need more from them. And at first I thought, okay, it's Terry Stotts. Okay, so then they finally, ended that agreement with Terry Stotts and they brought in Chauncey Billups. I don't know if it's him though. That's the thing. I can't put my finger on what is the disconnect with the Portland Trailblazers. I am not certain if it's Chauncey Billups. And maybe because I'm a Chauncey Billups fan, so perhaps I'm jaded. But Dame Lillard has not been playing at his maximum capacity at the top of the season. He's now getting into momentum, so perhaps we'll see some changes as the season continues to progress. So I think that was a missing piece in the Portland Trailblazers' success so far. But at the end of the day, if the Portland Trailblazers are not going deep into the postseason, what are we talking about when we're talking about Dame and CJ? What type of backcourt do you want? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Blow it up.
Blow up the team?
Throw it in the trash. You need to blow up the team. I think so. I think it's time. I think it's time. Yes. And I'm not saying it has to be CJ or Dame. Maybe it's the front court. Maybe they just need to make some other adjustments, but whatever they got going on right now, that roster is not working.
Yeah. Let's get Nurk on the trading block and let's bring in Miles Turner. Let's look at Robert Covington's contract, see what we can get for him. Yeah. Because I believe in Chauncey Billups too. At first, I thought he wasn't connecting with them and the guys weren't buying in. But I read an article where Dame Lillard personally goes into Chauncey's office and have tea with him and watch the game, watch clips, figure out, okay, how can I be better? How can I get the team into, what you want to see out there, Coach Billups? I like that. And when I read that, I said, okay, Dame is buying in. We just need CJ to get back healthy and let's work on the supporting cast, Covington and Rocco.
I think so. I think that's what it is. So if we can figure what that is, and Miles Turner. You know what? Can they do Miles Turner and Karis LeVert? I'm just saying.
Oh, that would be nice.
But there needs to be some type of movement mid-season to those positions. And I think if they did that, then maybe it will re-energize. But if we think that this current roster is going to take the Portland Trailblazers, into the postseason, sadly mistaken. It's not going to happen.
And I think the biggest problem was they signed Norman Powell to that $90 million deal. I'm not sure why they gave him so much. I think he would have accepted less.
Yeah. I like Norman Powell, though. I do like him on that roster. I don't think that's it. I really believe it's the other positions that are lacking. I don't know. They got to figure it out because Portland Trailblazers, y'all won't see the postseason.
Oh, no, not like this. No, they won't in the West right now. So, yeah, they've been a disappointment, but I'm still iffy because I'm still pulling for Chauncey and Dame to figure it out. All right, you guys, we're going to wrap up this episode on our biggest disappointments this season. Make sure you drop down in the comments and let us know what some of yours are. And we will see you guys on the next one. But until then,
peace.
Peace, y'all.